You always talk about my basketball shorts, right? But I'm wearing a sweatshirt today, but I'm still wearing basketball shorts. Are you a basketball shorts fan, Lifer? There you go, my man. No, we've connected a lot here. What is going on, everyone? Happy Friday, and welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. My name is David. I'm one of your hosts today, and we're coming at you from our studio here in... It's finally getting really nice outside, Las Vegas, Nevada, with our daily, only on the weekdays live shows. Before we get to the content, quick disclaimer, nothing that's said on this channel should be taken as financial advice, so please, as always, do your own research. Speaking of content, today's a very special show. If you're part of our community, you know today is Friday, which means it's Forest Day. But also, we have a returning guest, one of our favorites, Crypto Lifer is back joining us. I'll introduce him here in a second. Before we get started, make sure to like the video. And now I have to introduce you to your second co-host of the day, Big Rob. What's up?
Hola! It's your boy Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we are an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take the old, the boring, the stale information and we package it up in a fun and sexy way. Also, here at Sin City Crypto, we don't just do live streams. We also do deep dives. We also bring guests into the live streams. We also do YouTube shorts. We're active on social media, and we'll be out filming on location at CNFT later this afternoon. And the conference officially kicks off tomorrow. So make sure you got the notification bell checked, so that way you don't miss any of our content. I think Crypto Lifer is going to be tagging along as well. So if you are here from his community, you'll probably get some guest appearances with Lifer there, or the whole group hanging out at Cardano convention. Really excited about that. Now, before I get into that, let's drop a thumbs up. Let's get a likes up in here. The likes are lacking. We're almost at a 50% rate on the likes.
Almost. Wasn't there a song, Almost Doesn't Count?
Or it's slightly over 50%. Anyway,
Who sang that song? Who sang that song?
What song?
Almost Doesn't Count. Was that TLC?
I don't know.
Brandy? Was it Brandy?
Hold on. You listen to TLC?
Bro, that was
TLC
that was the 90s,
and Brandy?
man. Don't worry about who we listen to.
Yeah.
How about you listen to your booking and stop putting bets on the Raiders?
Yeah. David pulled up today blasting his Mariah Carey CD.
That's like, right, baby. Man. Christmas is here. It was by Brandy. Robin's a hater.
All right. So everyone here, if you're not subscribed, do us a favor, subscribe. If you don't like us after the fact, you can always unsubscribe. The button works both ways. Now, I'm really excited for today's show. Today's gonna be a good one, man.
Your
boy is amped up. I'm juicy. We got two TA experts in the house. We're gonna get polarizing opinions on both sides. So will we get the dynamic argumentative expert analysis, you know, that whole David and Big Rob style where we go back and forth and we get mad at each other? Maybe. What do you think? You ever
probably not.
Have you sat down and done TA with Forrest before, Lifer? No. Okay. Well, you know, Vegas is known for their boxing, not only the clubs, which not only the clubs that we will open up when we get to 125 viewers, but we will also open up the boxing match if we need to.
The boxing ring, you mean?
The boxing ring. Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Introducing.
You know, it's so funny you said that. All right. So my segue to introduce Lifer was going to be yesterday in the chat. A lot of people were saying you got to ask him to do his baseball announcer. And I was like, never understood why. And I'm like, all right. So to introduce you, I want your opinion on what you think. Can I make it in the voiceover industry, right? And now, introducing the man, the trading legend hailing from Boston, Massachusetts, the Crypto Lifer. What do you? Wait.
This is awesome. And I'm super excited for tonight. I've let everyone know I'm finally going to say this. I've never said it before. I'm taking the night off. After this show, yeah, I'm going to hang out with you guys. And I'll look at Bitcoin here and there, but I'm going to immerse myself in the community. I'm going to have fun tonight. And I'm going to post the socials. We're going to have a blast. And I'm really going to let myself finally let my hair down.
My man.
It says mic is off. Where's our... We're good.
We're good. All right.
Yep. Check,
We're
check,
good.
check. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
Bing, bang, bell. All right. Lifer, thank you so much again for joining us. We appreciate you and your insight. Now, Robin, there's something you need to do before we can move on.
¿Qué pasa? Oh, real quick. Roll call. All right. So, first up in the chat today, we have Tox first up in here. So, round of applause for Tox. Tox, you win artificial audience clap and cheer. And then we also
AI
have
generated.
Robert Salazar in here. Crypto and Yogurt. Delma, Jamie, Emery. And then we got Jay Danielo. And then Marky Mark, Why You Loud, Gang, Chris Jordan, Brokioshi. Hit the like button in studio and in the chat. Absolutely love
hit
it.
the like
Mervin?
buttons in the studio?
Yeah,
the
well, the like
actual-
button sign's in the
sign.
studio, and
Got
also
it.
hit the like button is in the chat as well. Big Chili Willie. We have Mervin, West, and then let's see who else we got. Vegas Free Baller, Liquidated Shorts, CNC, Laura, Timmy. We got Rainer, Laura,
Yeah, that's
Laura, Nordy Guy, Crypto 420. We got Sean C up in here, Natasha, and then Noel, David Kendall, Timmy, Smoke Dog, and then
Smoke doggy dog.
Marvinsky,
Battle Brothers.
and then I think Sean Burns Jr., Crawler, Bullish Kenny G, and then who else we got up in here?
Andrew, Battle
Bing,
Brothers.
Andrew,
Bullish Kenny G's hilarious.
Battle Brothers.
You've been watching me for the years.
And then
I
BRMC,
love that
JCap, Chris Jordan, and I think that about wraps it up.
Guarantee he missed someone. So
Effing
if he
book,
missed you-
man.
Effing book. Read an effing book, man.
Book, bro.
Read
Read an effing book, guy.
We got Abdominal Rain Man, Destroyer, Russell,
Big Netty
all,
Rag Netty,
all
my man.
sneaking in here last
Kyle,
second.
man.
So
Oh, I love it. All
They
right.
came hard today. They really listened. I went hard on the stream. They
love
listened.
it.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, if you're new here from the Lifer community, welcome. Welcome to Sin City Crypto community. You guys are loud. We're loud too. Okay. So you're in the right place. Also, if you're here from Cryptostackers Pro, welcome as well. You guys are familiar with our channel, I'm assuming. Forrest has been coming on our show every Friday for a long time, and he'll be joining us in about 5 minutes. Now, you guys went out before we get into crypto topics, I want to bring Forrest on. But before we do that, you guys posted a video. I was a little jealous. As we're driving in the Benz on the Vegas Strip, we need to know, what did you guys do? Where did you guys go? Were there any secret conversations that we need to know about?
secret conversations.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shade thrown at co-anchor here.
Figured
There
that as
was
much.
A lot of this guy.
But
I
I
was
don't
trying to
think Sam-
convince Lifer that you're a cool dude, but
I'm sure it was the other way around. I'm sure he's like, hey, I just met this guy, David. He's a cool dude. And Rob's like, no, man, trust me. Trust me.
we went over to a little tapas restaurant here in Las Vegas, Firefly. Look, it's a couple blocks off the strip, so something that's not too packed. Good food, small plates.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Mediterranean kind of style
Good
food.
service.
And then I
Terrible
had
company, right,
I had a red wine sangria.
Got through it.
And then we
Red
also
wine
got
sangria.
we got a hodler here. Was that Hindi?
Andy,
Thank
5
God.
months.
Yeah, and you know what they had? They had a line of DeLoreans. They had like a DeLorean meetup.
7
out.
DeLoreans.
Yeah,
hanging out.
so
It was pretty cool. Yeah, I've never seen
yeah,
anything like
they
that in
all
my
had
life.
the,
Like
the was it the suicide doors? No, it's not suicide.
sitting there. Yeah.
Scissor door, or whatever it is.
Scissor door.
What the heck would you call that?
Yeah, it's
Bird
scissor
door.
doors, bro. What
They're
do you
not
mean?
scissor doors.
No.
Butterfly?
Definitely not. Suicide
Okay,
was
suicide-
the open.
suicide
Suicide was the old
opens-
mobster
opens
cars
up-
in the 40s that opened that way because
Yeah, scissor goes up like a Lambo, and then
What about the knife doors?
the knife doors.
They call them like Tesla doors, right?
The spoon doors.
They were the first ones.
Like-
Ospreys. Right? Osprey doors.
Yeah, it could be like a. I'm not exactly sure. Now,
I don't want to waste any time.
what?
I want to get into this, man. We have two special guests.
What?
And it wouldn't be complete if we didn't bring our other special guests in. So let's go ahead and bring in our man, Forrest from Cryptostackers. Bring him in.
Cue
He's
the
not ready?
intro. Rocco?
All right, he needs a second. All right.
Yeah, all right.
I know Forrest is watching, so all right, let's bring him on. Forrest.
Yeah.
Hey,
What's
how's it
going
going,
on,
everyone?
brother? How you doing?
Good. I was just getting I got some lights set up now. I don't know if you can see the complexion difference.
Love
But
it,
that's
man.
why I was getting up out of a chair. I had to scramble to turn my lights on before you guys brought me up.
Oh, you're good. I was
Oh,
gonna say,
man,
look how you got a tan.
You got a nice glow going on you, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm jealous.
Beautiful.
Using
glow.
that hydraulic acid.
Forrest, how do you like our wall? Do you think we did a good job?
I love it. Yeah, I think it looks very nice. Is it a wall? Is it a projection? Is it a green
a
screen?
wall.
What's going on back there?
A lot of manual labor went
No, it's
into it.
real. Like I can actually cut my hand on it if I want.
Yeah, it's all stone. You know what? Not only does David also do TA, but he is he is an expert wet saw brick cutter.
Tile
And
cutter, that's
so-
right.
Nice towel cutting.
Yeah.
I'm taking jobs on Fiverr now, so find me on there. Just kidding. So to those of you that are not familiar with Forrest, he was the former head of research at Token Metrics. He now runs Cryptostackers Pro. It's a channel on YouTube. By the way, I dropped the link to Cryptostackers Pro, their YouTube channel, also Crypto Lifers YouTube channel. Guys, go support these people. They're guests. They come on our show. They ask for nothing in return. Now, I want to jump right in to the very first thing that I want to talk about, which is the September jobs report finally came in. The source from CNBC. Job growth fell short of expectations, with non-farm payrolls increasing 263,000 compared to the Dow Jones estimate of 275,000. The unemployment rate was 3.5% versus the forecast of 3.7%, which you say is good, some say is not good, because this just gives the Fed more ammo to keep hiking rates. And also, the 2- and 10-year Treasury yield soared today. Now, I was talking to Lifer before the show began, and he had an interesting take. So, Lifer, I want to ask you, the 2 and 10-year yields are up, and I'm sure you have a chart on it. Do you mind kind of sharing your thoughts on why this happened, or what it means that the 2 and the 10-year Treasury yields are going up when the economies are shrinking?
Yeah, well, a yield is a payback on investment, right? So people like to invest in the U.S. debt because it's never ever lost. It's never went default. So wouldn't you want to, buy something you think would always pay you back? The U.S. dollar, is strong, and whether it could collapse or not, they tend to prop it up pretty well throughout many different ideas. And I think there's quadrillion derivatives, right, throughout the world. They're like
A lot.
yeah, so there's more money based in like fake assets than in real assets at this point. But that's another story. So the 10-year yield technically should give you a payback, but when everyone's getting into it and it's extremely in high demand, it gives you a less yield. So the yield should be going down a little bit if it's in high demand, and it's usually in high demand when an economy is weak because people feel, hey, I don't want to be in the stocks. I don't want to be in gold and silver. I just want to get what's guaranteed. I want to get my yield from the government. So why would the yield be going up so fast? It makes me think that possibly there's less demand for the yield, which to me doesn't make sense. I would think that the yield would be going down and not going up. And I could be wrong. Someone could correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm still like dabbling with this information. But it's now double topping on my chart. I can see it here. And the thing is, you would want to see this continue up. If I'm, and eventually people would rather, in my humble opinion, get into Bitcoin or another asset that's not connected to the US dollar and the entire banking system. So I feel like if the yield continues up, it could create more people to speculate into Bitcoin and, more stable cryptocurrency, not more speculative assets, but Bitcoin for sure.
Awesome. And just to, and this is just the chart you were talking about. Do you see this coming down anytime soon? Like, well, what are your...
I mean, I'm a strictly show me the charts and I'll show you the
Yeah.
news. So many times I've traded against the chart and it just never worked out for me. So I've learned that the probabilities are in me shutting off my brain and looking at what the chart gives me and doing nothing else, And when you see this, you do see, the 4-hour is at a resistance, would like to come back down. You can see there's a point of control here at 365. That's a likely area you're going to revisit. That also could be like a shoulder, a head, and almost, wiggly, not really the best, kind of an inverted head and shoulder. Then I look at the daily and the 3-day. I really like them. The daily says it's just opening up and continuing, and you have lack of bearish momentum on the MACD. Another thing that I like to look at is volume. When you see volume falling down, that's the gasoline, and you see price falling down, usually you're going to get a reversal to the upside. Falling volume with falling price is like a key indicator. Some people trade with just volume and price, and you'd be surprised if you do it over and over again how accurate you would become. This says it's going to continue to rise. Possibly double top, right? You're always looking for the possible double top at this point. If it doesn't, it goes up, uses that as support. So right now the daily has momentum, and you have to go with that. That's the probability.
We also seen a big sell-off when it comes to the NASDAQ particularly. I mean, traditional stocks are down. And as Dave alluded to when we first brought up the story, this gives more ammunition to the Fed to raise rates, because that's really the only thing that would prevent them from going full degen and just cranking up the interest rates is the fear of basically unemployment, of crashing the market and having massive layoffs. And if you have a strong job market, it gives Jerome Powell the runway to keep hiking rates. And so this whole narrative that they're going to slow down or pause the interest rate hikes, I think that's taken a back seat, and that's why we're seeing the big sell-offs in the NASDAQ. So
what scares me about that is, I'll make a broad statement and leave it quiet. I think that's when it really resonates. Does Jerome Powell want Americans to lose jobs? Let that sit in your head and echo, because he wants us to be more unemployed so he can stop raising rates.
Yeah. I think it's a double-edged sword. Forrest, what are your thoughts on if you want to speak on the jobs report, the Treasury yield? I don't know if you have any charts set up, but kind of share your thoughts. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I can share my screen here. So I'm looking at the DXY, and I'm looking at that against a basket of different currencies: the Swiss franc, the Chinese yuan, the euro, Great British pound, Japanese yen. Everything's going down except for the dollar. This, in my opinion, while not directly related to the jobs report or necessarily the yield, I can't imagine this is going to be allowed to go unchecked for a long period of time, right? The two biggest pieces of news this past week that I saw were the UN coming out and telling the Fed to stop hiking rates, and then the People's Bank of China putting out a mandate to basically dump for Chinese banks to dump dollars and buy Chinese yuan, right, to prop up their currency. And you can see over the last couple of days, their currency has been relatively flat, while other currencies have been falling continually. But this is starting to put a lot of strain on other countries. And look, this isn't good for the U.S. either. While the U.S. needs to fight inflation, the problem is that the Fed did not get on top of this quickly enough, and now they're fighting. They're fighting a completely different battle, and it's starting to break other stuff. And I'm just not so certain that this is going to be allowed to go unchecked. There's going to be there's ways, there's hacks, there's little things that these other countries can do to try to defend and prop up their currencies. We're already seeing that in China, and the Fed is going to see increased pressure to pause rate hikes, slow down the rate at which they're increasing rate hikes, or if not, completely pivot. They've come out and said that they're pretty adamant. They've been pretty hawkish. They've come out and said they're pretty adamant about not stopping the rate hikes. But that's also what they said the opposite of at the beginning of the year. They said they weren't going to hike rates. They were underestimating everything. They were dovish when they needed to be hawkish, and now we're seeing them be hawkish when they may not have a choice, because this is not good for other countries, but it's also not good for the U.S. dollar. It's not good for the U.S. Because all of a sudden exports drop drastically because other countries cannot afford our goods. So I look, the trend hasn't stopped yet. The trend hasn't broken yet. But it can only go on for so long before some stuff starts happening and stuff starts breaking.
Or do you treat the DXY like any other market? Do you draw TA on this?
Yes. Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. You have to. I make trades on it all the time.
Okay.
It's going to help you. It hits a double top. You can trade an altcoin.
So are we? Do you think we're at the top of? Because that's what I've heard a bunch of times. Like, hey, the DXY is way too high. It's going to pull back. It's going to pull back. And I mean, is that what the charts are telling you guys?
There's bearish divergence on the 1 week chart on the RSI. There's bearish divergence on the 2 week. There was bearish divergence on the daily. I've never seen something negate bearish divergence this many times. I kept seeing rising wedges that were supposed to break down. It kept plowing away. It's now in a rising wedge that broke back inside of itself. Now, if you see my screen here, like, I'll go to like the daily chart. So this was the rising wedge. They faked the breakout. You know, rising wedges break out only, you know, randomly. This pushed out, was supposed to hit this area, came back in, and now it's fighting the top of this channel again. If I get rid of these yellows, but it's fighting the top of this channel, trying to get back in. I'd love to see this dump. I've been watching the 2 week chart viciously, and it's just careening. How much longer can it stay up here? This is, you know, it's a parabolic run that this is an altcoin that eventually, this is like when Forrest told you to take profits at VeChain at 27 cents. I mean, this thing looks a lot like it, doesn't it, Forrest? You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I've got similar levels. I've got resistance at 112, 112.5. They're kind of fighting. We've been chopping along. I've also got resistance at 114, which we got rejected at. We deviated above it. We got rejected at it. I think that now that we've gotten below 114, it's going to be tough for DXY to come back up and break 114. Seeing similar stuff to you is the bearish divergences. This can't go unchecked, right? It can't go unchecked. It's breaking the rest of the world. So something's got to give here. It's like you said, it's like taking profits on anything. Like you want to, when something goes parabolic, like VeChain or like Bitcoin or like crypto did, and in this case, what's going parabolic is the dollar. So how do you take profits on your dollars? You buy risk assets, or you buy bond, you spend your dollars on other stuff. You move out of dollars, and that's essentially taking profits on.
I'm confused. So, why is the yield going down then? I mean, why is the yield going up? But it's confusing me, you know? Like,
yeah, I know
it's very different. From
like, is this an anomaly we've never seen? Like, the yield should be dumping when the market's dumping, because people are running into it, making it high demand, giving you less value back. I don't know, it's weird to me. Are they buying the yield, forcing? Like, are they doing something?
Well, here's part of it too. Is when the effective federal funds rate, when the Fed hikes interest rates, the new bonds that are issued by the new securities that are issued by the Treasury, those interest rates go up too, and that's why a lot of people are saying the Fed can't go to 20% like Volcker did, because we have so much more debt now that needs to be serviced. And how do we service part of that debt? Is we issue more securities like bonds, like T-bills, like Treasury assets. And so that's part of it too. And so it's like everything, and Forrest hit on a really good point as well, is you said it hurts exports, right? The Dixie going up, because think about it. When the dollar gets stronger against, let's just say, the Chinese yuan, it takes more yuan to buy the same amount to import the same amount of U.S. goods. And so what does that hurt in the grand scheme of things is GDP. And so because GDP, a big part of it is net import export. And so it's layers on layers on layers of things. People don't think about that interest rates, the dollar getting stronger, the Treasury yields. It goes just beyond whether it's just charge, entry point, exit point, the price. It goes way beyond that. So it's important to keep those things in mind. And that is why a lot of people, again, say the Fed's going to have to pivot. They can't do Volcker because we're in too much debt. They're going to have to pivot at some point because the U.S. Government's not going to be able to service their debt and pay the interest. So that's part of it as well.
You know, all right. So, you know, I will, I'll end this one on this. You have two macro situations. You have the EU pressing the Fed, saying, hey, these interest rates are driving the global economies into a recession. And you look at the DXY, this is literally that metric, right? As DXY pumps, more likelihood of a global recession. And with a economic situation when it comes to energy in Europe, particularly in Germany, and well, all of Europe, England as well, with that situation, you would expect that maybe we would taper down our interest rate hikes. So the consensus was 75 basis points. So now you have two sides of the argument here. Now you have one, the jobs market coming in extremely bullish, and gives ammunition to the Fed. Now, what does the Fed do? Do they take that ammunition and run and crank it up another 75 basis points? Or do they take a look at the global situation and then ratchet it down to half a percent?
You know what?
Or less. You know
what really pisses me off is we should have never been in this situation. The Fed completely, and I'm trying not to curse, but they screwed us. When they started printing money and we started getting all these checks and no one can spend their money and the economy was booming, that's when you should have done these quarter-point interest rates. Instead, they kept them at zero.
Transitory. They kept saying that.
And it's transitory, this and that. It's like no one had an idea when literally us who are plebs over here who don't know macroeconomics, like you figure the Fed chair does, we're sitting here saying, well, if you knew demand was going to be strong, the supply chain was off whack, people just got an influx of money. At that point, you know the economy is going to boom. Start hiking interest rates up slowly. So you don't just stick a serrated knife into the ribcage of the economy. And so that's what's so frustrating is now people.
Whoa.
What?
A lot of violence over there. Bro.
That's what it feels like, dude. That's literally what it feels like. People are losing money. Other economies around the world are getting screwed. And it's all because of the decisions the Fed made, the government made, and it's all bad. All right, Robin, go ahead.
I want to add, because this started in the 1700s when Alexander Hamilton sold us to the Bank of England. People have to realize this. Do your research. And a movie called Money Masters is 3 hours long. It's going to explain to you how we sold ourselves to the banking industry a long time ago. This was going to happen. 10 years ago, in 2008, Peter Schiff called the housing crisis. I watched him on YouTube. I began buying gold and silver from Schiff Gold. I began buying silver. Then I started getting into. I told my friends that the dollar was going to tank in 2010. I knew it wasn't transitory then. I know it's not transitory now. I've been saying the same thing since my channel's been out for 3 years. This is the reason why I've been buying Bitcoin. What I'm predicting right now is we're going to have I think the whole system is going to collapse at one point. They're going to have to reset us. I think the ISO 222 is really coming. I think they're going to set us into a new system with XRP and some other pegged assets with gold. I don't know exactly what they're planning, but it's kind of out there if you do your research. And I think that's the only way out of this. If we lay on the legacy system, I think it implodes on itself into debt. I don't see a way out. They can't. The interest rates are going to raise if they don't raise the interest rate. And I've been saying this. And if they don't raise the interest rate, they printed too much money. And now every time you need to, bandage it, you have to print more money. $1 trillion becomes $2 trillion, then 3. You know what I mean? You need more gauze to stop the bleeding. So every time they print more money, and I'm not a Dem or Republican, but these whole Inflation Reduction Acts. You don't stop inflation by printing money. Like, this is insane to me. Like, it's driving me nuts. And then and people don't want to have these conversations, but it's just nuts. So it started a long time ago. We really need to rebuild society. Like, the banking system has been parasitically sucking on us for 1,000 years.
Well, that's why so many people, are so into cryptos, because they think it could change. But there's a lot of hurdles in the way. All right, Rob, I want to send it to you. Why don't you give us a quick glance over what the markets are looking like? And then I know Forrest has some charts for us like he does every Friday, and Lifer, if you have some charts you want to share, we'll go to that as well. But Rob, you go ahead and take it away.
All right, so just a quick overview. Pulling up the coin market cap. We have.
Why don't you sign up for free?
Yeah, okay. We got Bitcoins coming in at 19,437. If you were watching yesterday's show, I clearly called 20K as a support level, and I clearly don't know TA because it's under 20K. But you know what? You can watch me to find out what the general sentiment is of the masses, because
he is the Jim Cramer of Cincinnati Crypto.
Hey,
well, not again.
If you want insight on projects, your boy here. I'm here. Now, a little bit about the rest of the market. Ethereum 1300, same zone. The biggest movers for the day. We have Inch Network. Inch Network hasn't really been in play lately. So a little bullishness from them, up 6%. Casper still up another 5%. This is a layer 1 smart contract platform launched in 2020. Big ICO. Check them out if you're interested. And then some of the biggest losers. We have BNB token down 4%. As you saw in the thumbnail, or if you, I'm sure you've been checking out Twitter, they did have a bridge hack yesterday. It was a big one. A lot of money drained. Also Trust Wallet token. Trust Wallet token they are kind of like the go-to wallet for Binance Smart Chain. So probably why they're down as well.
But they're a multi-chain wallet too.
Yeah,
They're,
but that's like the go-to wallet if you're going to transact on the smart chain.
It is.
Now, Crypto Fear and Greed Index coming at 23, so a little bit of uneasiness. Maybe this has something to do with it.
Trust Wallet.
Yeah.
But it's
and yeah, that's all I got there.
What about those traditional markets?
So traditional markets, as I mentioned, you got Nasdaq down over 3.5%. They are leading the pack. S&P 500 still down over 2%. So this is a $40 trillion asset class down significantly for the day. So there's less liquidity in the system. So just keep that in mind when you're putting in your trades or buy orders. So that's all I got there.
All right. Before I send it to Forrest, I know Lifer did a stream this morning, and you talked about Bitcoin coming down. Do you mind kind of sharing the price action, what's happened since, and kind of where you see it going in and kind of the macro? Lifer, I'll send it to you first, and we'll send it to Forrest.
You guys are really nice. I really am excited to hear Forrest. I do so much TA.
You guys are both amazing.
I like to be quiet and watch someone else do the magic, and I love what he does. I've been watching him for years. I feel honored to be on screen with you, Forrest. So check this out.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So we were looking at it. Started last night. You're saying it was about to fall from this area. It couldn't get above resistance. That's an M pattern. And then I used stochastics RSI, and they were beat on the 1 hour time frame. They were it was likely to make a dump. So that dump happened. So then as we started the live stream this morning, when price action moves fast, use smaller time frames to track it. I don't like to encourage beginners to trade the 1 minute and the 5 minute, and I'm not doing that all the time, but the 7 minute is awesome for me, and I've gotten great insight. What I did is I swung this from here to here. That last place of resistance was here, so that's the length of my pole. I'm pretty good with I don't know how I do it, but my targeted measure moves are spot on. And it said we were going to go right to here at 19,342. We went right there. I see another flag now. So I left the live stream right around here, and so, people like to watch my stream and see if the probability plays out. And bam, it went right to there. I'm pretty good at timing small moves on the 7 and the 15, and it's accurate with the stochastics RSI. And it looks like we may go lower to 19,097 now if we can't double bottom here on the 7 again. So they'll keep rolling over until you get a possible, this is my last thing, this could be our way out. This could make an inverted head and shoulder. Or this could make a double bottom, You need either a double bottom and inverted. I've been studying this now. I've been watching so many reversals. It can only do so many things. There's only so many patterns it can make. Right. You think there's more options than there really are when you know all the different ones.
Interesting. Forrest, what are your thoughts? I know you got some charts for us. We'll send it over to you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Lifer.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me share my screen here. So, a couple things I do want to say about the S&P 500 because this is kind of my barometer. I think right now we're in a space where the market's pretty correlated, right? All risk assets are pretty correlated right now. We're in this ugly middle zone of in between. Obviously, if the economy is doing really well, and a lot of just talking from a high level here, if the economy is doing really well, we're in quantitative easing, everyone has a lot of money to spend. Of course, the more speculative assets like crypto are going to do well. Right. But then on the other side of the spectrum where crypto starts to do well, in my opinion, is complete anarchy, a complete crushing of the economy, a complete reset. Then all of a sudden crypto looks really nice because fiat is very flawed. We all know that. But right now, I feel like we're in this middle, this no man's land where people aren't the average person isn't looking at crypto as a life raft quite yet because things haven't quite exploded yet, and at the same time it's still kind of trading like a risk asset, almost like a tech stock, and therefore it's kind of correlated with the S&P 500. So kind of opposite end of the spectrums where it's scenarios where crypto becomes very attractive. And we're just kind of in the middle right now. So one thing I want to draw people's attention to on the S&P 500 is, right now, institutions, traders, people, they don't want to carry risk into the weekend. Right. And I've talked about this in the past, but Fridays have been very bad days for the S&P 500 recently. Very bad days. And that's just, not necessarily due to, bearishness. It's more to do with the lack of, and you could interpret this as being bearish, but who wants to, if there's the threat, a legitimate threat in the world right now that nuclear war breaks out this weekend or sometime in the future. If you're an institution that has a lot of exposure to risk assets, or you're a trader, or you're just an investor, why on earth would you carry a high risk position into a weekend where something catastrophic could happen, and the S&P 500 could open on Monday at 3,200, right? Again, this is, knock on wood, this is worst case scenario, nuke gets dropped. Where do you think the S&P 500 is going to open on Monday? Not up here. I can promise you that. It's not going to open up at 4,000, 4,300. It's going to open much lower. And that's kind of the thesis behind why Fridays recently, the end of the week, it's been very bearish, whereas towards the beginning of the week, we've actually seen some of these smaller rallies. So that's, as a trader, you can look for that kind of pattern of risk on towards the beginning of the week, risk off towards the end of the week, just knowing that psychologically, right, you really don't want to be exposed. Now, in a bull market, right, it's the opposite. In the bull market, you can go into the weekend, you can close, you can be risk on the weekend, because over the weekend, who knows, they might announce another stimulus bill. Right, they might announce another stimulus bill, and then the market opens up higher. Right, we're in the opposite zone right now. So Fridays are very, very risk off. The good news here is the market hasn't closed yet, but I do want to see a close above this previous low. That would be a good signal. Hey, even though the market's dumping off today, we want to see a close above this low. I have similar numbers to Crypto Lifer as just kind of the range trade. He's talking about a potential move down to $18.9 thousand. I was doing some TA last night on the live stream and was just kind of talking about this, kind of short setup. But I mean, essentially the range, my target's like $18.9 thousand. And yes, we can go below that. We've gone below it multiple times. But if I was in any short trades here, I'd want to close at 18.9K. That's the margin pressure level. That's the support level that I expect some buyers to start coming in at. Are we going to hold it for the 19th time? Maybe not. Maybe we do go lower. The chart that I do want, and I know this is, Sin City Crypto, not Sin City S&P 500 and Sin City crude oil, right? I do want to draw your attention though, because it's very important. Forrest,
real quick.
Did oil yesterday, yeah.
Forrest, real quick. Is there any way you can swap to dark mode? A lot of the viewers say they're having trouble reading the.
Vampire.
Yeah. Let me see if I can do that on the fly. Otherwise, I can potentially just do it. There we go. Does that work?
You're a good man. You're a man of the people.
Look at that gradient.
Love it. Thank you, my friend. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off.
This is like an old template I had. So I need to switch that to white now. Okay. Maybe if things get really bad, you'll have to rebrand the channel to Sin City Oil, Sin City Crude Oil or something like that. Crude oil is absolutely breaking out today. And I've said in the past, this is my canary in the coal mine. Obviously, people pay attention to DXY, people pay attention to yields, people pay attention to the S&P 500. To me, everything can be traced back to energy prices, and energy prices are the thing that can absolutely come in to crush this entire economy. Put it this way. Yes, we're dealing with inflation, right? Yes, we have a problem. The Fed can, by cutting rates, somewhat tackle that problem. It's a pretty straightforward solution. Is you crush demand, right, to spark a recession, and it's not ideal, but it does historically curb inflation. It brings demand down, and inflation goes down. One of the highest correlated things, though, with inflation are oil prices, energy prices. It's literally baked in as part of the CPI calculation, the Consumer Price Index calculation. If oil goes up, right, inflation within a couple of weeks, within a couple of months, follows it, right? So all of this, the last 3 months worth of data is of oil prices and energy prices dropping, is going to be reflected in Q4 inflation data, CPI data. And we're going to see inflation. I believe we're going to see some relief in inflation, right? It was CPI was like 9%, and then it dropped a little bit last month by like 0.1%. We're going to get those numbers again in about a week, in about 6 days, October 13th. I believe we're going to see a pretty big drop in CPI. We might see that for 2 months in a row. But if oil prices stay elevated, this is a problem. This is a real problem 3 months down the road, 6 months down the road, because oil prices going up means the prices for everything else is going to go up. The prices for food, the prices for goods, the prices for services, everything, the cost of anything usually has a portion of that cost is oil, right? When Amazon delivers your packages, they got to pay gas for the vans and the trucks to deliver your packages. Any product probably has a petroleum byproduct in it. This is, I've said time and time again, if this starts happening, if oil starts elevating again, I'm going to get longer term or macro bearish. Now, I still think we're going to get some potential Q4 relief rallies and risk assets. I think as long as we don't get a, knock on wood, a nuclear bomb going off literally, I do think we could get some concerted relief rallies off of good CPI numbers, off of the Fed being, pressured to slow down a little bit. But next year, put it this way, I've taken a significant chunk out of crypto, which I hate doing at these bear market prices, and I've hedged into some oil ETFs. U.S. oil, I think Brent oil, BNO is another one. And I'm sitting in some oil right now on this breakout. I've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks and dollar cost averaging into some energy ETFs, predominantly oil ETFs. And so far, those are doing really well. It's been a really nice hedge because the prices are going up. But if I'm being honest, I hope I lose every dime of what I've hedged into energy and oil, because I would rather see oil prices down here and help alleviate some of the economic turmoil that we're seeing. It's not a pretty scenario where this happens. And to be honest, I think we're probably in a secular bull market for oil. If we look at what the policies that the administration has taken against fossil fuels, made expanding of the production of fossil fuels within the U.S. very difficult. If we take into account that this drop in oil prices was artificial, it was a draining of the strategic oil reserve, or the strategic petroleum reserve, which it maybe the reason this is breaking out is that they've stopped draining that. You can only drain it for so long. It's artificially suppressed. I wouldn't be surprised if next year we see oil prices come back up to all-time highs. This is very, very scary. And the last chart I'll show, if we do this if we normalize for M2 money supply, right, and we zoom out to maybe the daily. Well, yeah, let's go all the way out to the weekly. I do want to show this chart. Is that oil prices are, when you adjust for the money supply? Let me change this coloring to white. When you adjust for the money supply, oil is cheap right now, and it can go a lot higher. It can go a lot higher. Oil has been artificially suppressed back down to this support level. It has historically been cheap since 2016, and we could see it move considerably higher. And that's the black swan scenario for next year. And I'm normally bullish. I'm normally very bullish, but the second oil starts going up, it makes me very uncomfortable. So that's why I'm hedged in energy.
I never get to sit with an analyst like him, and me being like, you guys, like, I just have to, can I just show you 3 charts? And I want to ask you what you think, because it kind of adds to what you're saying. And it's when you take a lot of time doing this, and I do too, and we see different things, but because we spend so much time, I believe we should see like 70 to 80% of the similar stuff. Look at this. This is just, I'm showing oil on the 3-day chart, and I'm a cup and handle guy. Like, I play it a lot, so I see it more than the average person. That's holding a POC and putting on the 3-day, right? I look at the S&P in a cup and handle on the 3-day. Also looks like it's about to bounce to the upside. This is also a broadening falling wedge, which actually is a bullish pattern overall. And then the DXY and a rising wedge on the 3-day chart looking to tank. Do you see a huge dump in the dollar and the S&P actually making a bounce? I mean, that's what these charts say. Again, nothing's guaranteed. Bitcoin struggling a bit on the 3-day. If it can recapture this candle and flip, it could flip bullish again and get above this POC. I feel like there's a chance we see something no one's expecting, and oil ripping, the S&P ripping, and maybe they will be forced not. The charts are telling us they're going to come out soon and say we can't print anymore. That's what the charts say. And usually show us the charts to show you the news. Do you ever look at the 3-day? What do you think of these ideas? I just love to know.
Yeah. I actually really agree with you there. I think I think that scenario is probably pretty likely, where we see oil rip, where we see the S&P 500 rip, or at least see some sort of a bounce into Q4. I think Q4 historically has been a really, really bullish quarter in a midterm election year. And I think a lot of people are, worried about, they're just propping it up. They're propping it up for the midterm election. But as soon as the midterm election happens, there's actually a lot of risk and uncertainty removed from the political climate. I'm kind of, moderately bullish for Q4. Now, oil going up would be a bearish indicator for me for the economy, but that's laggard. That's like 3, 6, 9 months down the road. The last 3 to 6 months for oil has been down. Really, the last 3 to 4 months has been down, which is a bullish indicator for the coming 3 months. I agree with you. I'd like DXY looks like it's struggling. S&P 500 looks like it should, potentially bounce here. And oil, like you said, you pointed out the cup and handle. I'm oil breaking the downtrend line. I think it could rip as well. And then 2023 could look really, really interesting. Very concerned.
I'm actually a little disappointed you guys didn't see different sides of the aisle here, because we wanted to throw the boxing match on. We want to throw on a boxing glove. Rocco, see, we had it already. We had it ready. Look at that. We were ready to go, man. We thought the energy was going to start.
Why are you trying to stir up stuff, man?
I was like, come on, man, let's go.
These are both nice guys.
We got the red corner here weighing in.
Lifer, did you know Forrest used to be a wrestler? College and high school level.
He looks like
he's
he's 6'4", 6'5", if I had to guess.
He can fold you up like a press
tall. He looks like a tall glass of water, I'll tell you that. Where are you from? Omaha? Where are you from, Forrest?
I'm from Georgia, Southeast United States. But no, I'm 5'11" and 3/4, and I always just round up to 6 foot. Every time I'd go and get measured, they would never give me 6 feet. Every year for wrestling, they measure your height and they put it on the roster. They just had to put 5'11" and a half. They would round down. Is so
just
frustrating.
Round up, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, give my boys some.
Just round up.
Here.
Just give me the 6 foot. Just give me the 6 foot.
You know what is interesting is that we just nonchalant just discussed the realistic possibility of dropping of being in a nuclear war, like that nuclear weapons are on the table, and that it's not like some far-fetched,
I feel like it's all fun. I don't
crazy like novel. New York Times best-selling novel. It's not that. This is literally just regular CNBC and regular Fox News just discussing like, hey.
Because what are you supposed to do if a nuke is dropped? Like, we can't do anything.
Well, was North Korea firing that missile over Japan last week?
It's a crap show, man. It's a crap show.
It's just interesting how we got here, man. And I know there's always something going on globally, so you can always point the finger. There's never a quiet time in the world, you know what I mean? But it's definitely there's an asterisk on this last couple of years, especially this one as well. So
I want to ask a couple direct questions to our guest. I'll start with Forrest. Forrest, is the bottom for Bitcoin in? Yes or no?
Or percentage. Or what's the likelihood? How about that?
70% in. I was 80%. Right after the bottom. But I'm just going to say 70% because nukes are on the table now.
Okay.
I did not call that one. I did not call that in my bingo card for 2020.
I'll get a little rumbly. I'll go 90-10. Like, I'm a little more... I love that I'm 70-82, man. I only trust people that put in the same amount of time that I do into the charts. I don't listen to anyone else if they don't do it every day. You know what I mean? Like, it's like someone who doesn't study math and you're sitting there doing pre-calculus. It's not worth it to have a conversation, you know? So I love that. I'm saying 90-10, man. I have too many indicators that are coinciding together.
90% in already?
Yeah, I'm going to go a little higher today, but based on the fear, you know?
Is there a bottom indicator, like maybe a couple of indicators or one specifically that you guys like that is your go-to to where it flashes a signal or it looks a certain way, you're like, all right, the bottom's in. Forrest, do you have a
favorite indicator?
I gotta build them.
For me, it's when Bitcoin hit the green easy band, when it hit the green bold easy band.
Can you share that, by the way?
and
Because there's a
look,
lot of
the easy
viewers in
band's-
here that I've never seen. They probably have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, sure. So I'll share my screen here when we, go back over to
And then
the
while you do that,
Bitcoin
I'm just going
chart
to give a
here.
quick shout out. We got some new people in the chat, so I'm going to just drop a couple Olas real quick. We got Domino's, Sean, McFry, S Pen, Cryptoholic Love, Craze, David, Timmy, Toby, Michael Bennett, Mr.
Toby.
Tech Goody, Battle Boss Trading, Sony, Motivation. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. So, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so I mean, look, it's when Bitcoin comes down to this green easy band level, and this is just based off the 21-week simple moving average. It's a projection off of the 21-week simple moving average that takes into account margin pressure levels. Basically, when Bitcoin gets down to this green level, all the shorts, it becomes very, very risky to short Bitcoin, and very like a lot of the sell pressure just has to leave. And Bitcoin very rarely takes a trip. We're taking a trip all the way back down to 2014. Very rarely does it go here, right? And when it does, it doesn't mean that the bear market bottom is necessarily in. We ended up taking 3 trips in this bear market. The time we really wicked through it was the bottom. But that's the last time since around 2014 that we've actually taken a trip down to the green easy band level, and it wasn't the bear market bottom. Both of these, I mean, you could call either of these the bear market bottom. This was a flash crash due to the pandemic. And again, I think everyone that's going around saying 12K Bitcoin or 6K Bitcoin, that's a scenario that looks like this. That's a scenario where something really bad happens, like a global pandemic or like that's like a black swan event type of scenario. But we've recently come down and we had all of this forced selling, and this was, in my opinion, a bit of a black swan event that was sparked right by the Terra Luna collapse, right? And all of the contagion and forced selling that caused from Celsius and from Voyager. And that's a whole nother discussion. But that's what it took to bring Bitcoin down to this green easy band level. Now the green easy band is around this, 10 to 12K region. So 10 to 12K is on the table, but in my opinion, what it takes to take Bitcoin down to 10 to, I don't think the status quo is just going to stay the same and Bitcoin's just going to trundle its way down to 12K. I especially don't think it's just going to drop there overnight unless something really bad happens. All right. That's why I'm like 70, 30, 80, 20. Like, hey, if something bad happens, yes, right. This is the level we'd expect it to drop to. But I'm not going to, I don't think the likelihood right now in and of this exact moment in time of something really, really bad happening is the most likely scenario. I don't think nukes are the most likely scenario. At least I hope not. And look, at the end of the day, as gruesome as it is, to talk about this, like either if nukes happen, either you're going to buy a generational low or you're going to be dead, right? You're either going to be dead or you're going to have the opportunity to buy Bitcoin at like $2,000-$3,000. As bad as that sounds, it's a real scenario that you have to take into account. But as far as indicators go, we hit the green easy band level. The last bear market, we hit it twice. The one before that, we hit it a couple more times. But we don't have to hit it multiple times.
One time's enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Lifer, what about you? What's your
Check this out. I've been
go ahead. Show us.
I call it like the quadfecta, right? You have a trifecta, quadfecta, or whatever.
That's right.
So I keep going over these same ideas. All right. Number 1, 8-day Gaussian channel. Every time the green turns to red, we bottom. Clear as day on December 3rd, 2018. Right. Go all the way back, even further back to here. The green turns to red. And December, of January of 2015, we bought them clear as day. You can zoom in there and see how nice. My heart races when I do this, and I get goosebumps. Like I want to be called like Sammy Chills. This TA gives me the chills. It really does, because like every time I do it, like I'm like, man, I think we could be calling a bottom live in front of tons of people. Like, so here, and again, anything's possible. Like, you have to always be open-minded as a trader that anything is possible. Here again, green turns to red. That's your bottom again, all right? I remove the Gaussian channel right here, and I flip to my 800-day moving average, and I flip back to the daily, okay? Check this out. And then I flip on 5 moving averages. I got a band of the 21, the 50, the 80, the 100, and the 200. Point of the story is right at these same areas where we call bottoms. This is 2014. When the 800-day moving average, simple, smooth, crosses the 50, that's your bottom. By the time you cross the 200, you're dwindling, but you've bottomed. Like Forrest said, it doesn't mean we don't hang out here for a while. It doesn't mean we don't play games in a bear market, but it means that that is our bottom. We continue. We fast forward to where we are now, and we go to right where we are. Like here we go again to 2018, the same Gaussian channel. The 800-day crosses the 50. There's your bottom again. Third time again, the 800-day, of course, and we knew this before it happened. We were here on my channel. We saw it cross the 50. We saw it cross the 100. By the time it hits the 200, you're dwindling out. That's a beautiful double bottom. I also see bullish divergence on the weekly, which I've never seen. Like, you don't see it. It's so rare. And the RSI right here is pointing to the upside, while the price action is pointing to the downside. Like, you just don't see that. That's just very rare. Like, go and back test that yourself. Go look for as many bullish divergences as you can on the weekly for Bitcoin. There's like 4, maybe 2 or 3 or something in the last 5 years. It's rare. It had that to me. I trade that. Like, while everyone else is looking at other things, I trade this stuff. Last thing I'll show you is the BLX on the pi cycle bottom. It called the bottom here, here, and here again, all in the exact same places, those 3 other indicators. To me, there's no such thing as a coincidence. That makes my hair stand up. I can't understand, like, to me, if that's not a bottom, and again, my green band, like, that's my green band too. I'm a little, like, that's the low price for Bitcoin at every single channel on the rainbow. I mean, he's spot on. I feel pretty spot on. And again, we could be wrong. It could go to 10K black, swan events. Yeah. But I think a black swan event would force people into Bitcoin.
That's
and I think we got the heads running for us. I think at this point we're done with people playing
the
games.
news itself. You've seen what happened. That kicked off the pandemic. The March closure that kicked off the bull market. And so if Black Swan event comes, then that's the point. You know what I mean? Like you fast forward 48 hours, and that's probably the bottom. Like. And then from there, it's smooth sailing, right? I mean, at least history says that.
I've been saying this for a while, and I 100% agree with Lifer. I think when people's backs are against the wall and they look at all these assets available, they look at risk on assets, stocks, they look at bonds, they look at the dollar current, they look at gold, anything, and they're going to look at something like Bitcoin and say, well, not controlled by a government, it's borderless, got a fixed supply, no inflation, why wouldn't you, right? Why wouldn't you do that? And so that's kind of been my theory. But that was amazing. Guys, again, go subscribe to Crypto Lifer. Go subscribe to Cryptostackers Pro. These guys, invaluable technical analysis and information in general. I want to pivot now to the biggest news of the day. Another bridge goes down, another bridge hack. This one on the 3rd largest cryptocurrency blockchain, Binance BNB, suffers a $500 million attack, sourced from Crypto Briefing. The BNB chain suffered a $566 million exploit Thursday after a hacker tricked the BSC, which stands for Binance Smart Chain, after they tricked that token hub bridge into sending them 2 million BNB tokens in 2 different transactions of $1 million each. The hacker made off with about $110 million. Here's the part I want to focus on. BNB chain halted the network and is weighing an asset freeze. The chain responded by completely halting the blockchain. And before we get everyone's opinion on this, I want to show you a video, an interview that CZ, which if you're not familiar with CZ, where the hell you been? But he is the CEO of Binance.
That was this morning, right?
That was this morning on CNBC.
I haven't even seen this yet.
Here we go, guys. Let's take a look at what CZ had to say about the hack.
CZ, it's good to see you. What we have seen hacked. And this was, what, a $500 million, $2 billion total. It's always when crypto is moving from one chain, one blockchain to another. Is that when it happens in a cross-chain bridge? What needs to be done?
Yes, so that is what happens for a cross-chain bridge. And what has to be done, I think, the industry, as an industry, we just got to learn how to learn from this kind of mistakes and make our code more secure. But software code is never bug-free. So, but in the blockchain world, whenever there's a bug, it could result in very large losses. This is one of the cases that happened. But we were able to minimize quite a lot of the damage to less than 100 million now.
I mean, we usually think of the blockchain itself as being almost fortress-like. So, and that's why with confidence you're able to say that everything else is safe in terms of the actual network, the BNB network itself has never been hacked.
Yes, in this case, the BNB blockchain itself has not been hacked. This is the cross-chain bridge that sits between two blockchains that allows users to change from one token to another. As you have said, we have seen many of this type of exploits in the industry this year, last year, but every bridge is a little bit different. So we're still, there are still new exploits that's being found, but the blockchain itself has no problems.
Another bridge hack.
Dude, man, when is enough? You know, here's my couple insights here. They turned off Binance Smart Chain. This is supposed to be a competitor to Ethereum. It's supposed to be, there's tons of similarities from Binance Smart Chain to Ethereum. That's kind of like their go-to. Like if you didn't want to pay the gas fees, get it done on Binance Smart Chain. Now it's getting ever more apparent that you turn off the blockchain and you're going through the process of seizing or freezing the wallets of the users that exploited the chain. And so all kinds of centralization issues there. First of all, you paused a decentralized blockchain. That's not how it's supposed to work. Second of all, even though might be malicious wallet addresses, you are freezing those. I mean, are we living in like is there a veil in front of our eyes for these blockchains? Are we sold? Are we sold this idea or this notion that this is all decentralized? Nobody has control. It's your keys. It's your wallet. Unless something happens and we decide to turn it off, and then if we don't like your wallet, you know what I mean? I feel like we're getting a lot of similarities to the same old dog and pony show you get with legacy finance and the banks and what the government's done. And so I don't know. I'm calling into question some of these protocols, man. And then lastly, I'll just say that why are they building a bridge on their own network? If a layer one builds a bridge on its own platform, you're basically unlocking the door and you're opening it up and you're opening up for vulnerabilities. Let somebody else build on top of it, and then they hold all the liability because they don't have access to the baseline code. Now, I don't write code. I'm not a computer science engineer here, but I know one thing. You can build as many bridges as you want on Bitcoin. You're not going to compromise the network. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be the bridge's fault. But why is Binance building a bridge on their own chain and exposing it for vulnerabilities?
Here's my biggest takeaway is, it's just another bridge hack, right? But think about this, okay? And if you've been following our channel, we've been showing Gary Gensler speaking in front of Congress, Senate, the House, answering questions, and the one thing that always comes up is decentralization. That is always the pro-crypto people's fighting chant, is decentralized, no one controls it. He's over here saying, well, how much is it really decentralized? And what happened with this and what happens with these hacks, it just feeds into what the SEC and Gary Gensler want, is they're going to have a list of hacks. They're going to have a list of things that went wrong, and they're going to say, how is it decentralized? They shut the network off. How is it decentralized? CZ asked the validators to stop validating transactions. How is it decentralized when you can freeze wallets? Guys, like, this is not good for the grand scheme of crypto regulation. This is going to give Gary Gensler and the SEC so much ammunition to sit there, and next time he goes in front of Congress and they ask him, well, but these are decentralized. He's gonna be like, this hack, shut it. They shut the blockchain down. This one, they halted transactions. This one, they froze wallets.
So so
that is what's concerning to me.
You're bringing
and
up,
obviously, hold on. And obviously, the money is a big issue, right? And $110 million to Binance is nothing, right?
okay, you're bringing up SEC, right? And you're bringing up opening the door for litigation, or basically the SEC saying, "Hey, you're not decentralized." Ethereum has been in the SEC's crosshairs, right? We could all agree that everyone's consensus here, SEC's got a problem with Ethereum. Perhaps it's got something to do with the court case and the fact that
You think about are you talking about XRP?
yeah, with XRP court case. I think a lot of that plays into one another, because if you deem Ethereum, which has very similar properties as far as the ICO release, and right around the same time period as Ripple Labs, you can make a comparison, one and the other as far as the ICO release. And so, and big implications on this court case. And so they're trying to turn up the heat on Ethereum. Now, here's my question. Do you think it's possible that if the Ethereum had a similar issue, do you think they're able to turn off their network the same way that Binance did? And because there's a lot of similarities between the two. And you think it's even a possibility that Vitalik could beat the war drum and be like, hey, everybody, I need you? Or do you think it is what it's advertised as decentralized? I mean, that's what I believe at heart. But now I'm starting to look inward. I'm like, hold on a second. Is Ethereum also decentralized? Because now I'm starting to call into question. Can that be turned off as well? What do you think?
I mean,
I highly doubt it, but then now I question.
I'm going to send it over to Lifer first, and I'll keep this very broad and general. Talk about it. Do you agree with kind of what I'm saying, what Robin's saying? Do you have a different take? Are you surprised the BNB token didn't crash more than what it did, which I believe 5% was the max it went down?
I like looking up to you. It's kind of like we in squares, you can look down.
What are your thoughts, Lifer?
It's sad. I mean, I love CZ. If you read his life story, he worked at McDonald's. It's pretty awesome. Became a billionaire. I mean, that's like pretty cool. I've always liked following his story. The other day he put out a tweet. I'm not good at writing. I'm not good at socializing. I am horrible at public speaking. Yet I brought like billions of people throughout the world together, or billions, and he's like, how, so fascinating to me. I worry about crypto and decentralization, right? That's what we all want, but it seems like there's always a roadblock. Like even when we have something that can't be turned off, the nodes end up being so expensive that you have to be worth, a few $1 million to operate a node worth $225,000. What happens when it's a decentralized that anyone can operate the node, but you like Solana, like whoever, eventually it's only operated by billionaires. So it could happen to Phantom too. Any blockchain that claims to be decentralized, it could even still run decentralized, at least by law, but then the money can always come into play. That's why I like what Mina protocol, right? And there's some other blockchains that allow people to run nodes without as much money, right? And let more people. However, when I deep dive that, I saw it was running somewhat on the back end of Amazon. It was its back end. It wasn't fully decentralized yet. So it's like we're just not there yet. I don't think. Also, this is a crazy question, but like, I don't want to say exactly who, but like, is there self-sabotage? And do you know what I'm like? Is there a force doing this to crypto to then they can make the law for it?
Well, a lot of times,
that's
just
an interesting
illicit activities. I think is more times than not, it comes from an inside job. So.
What are your Forrest? What are your thoughts on this whole situation? Do you think? Do you agree with me that this gives Gary Gensler and the SEC more ammunition to go after crypto and to say that it's not decentralized, and just kind of share your overall thoughts?
I think it's going to have to be on a case by case basis. So, like this particular incident of shutting down the validators, I don't know that this is necessarily a risk or ammunition to be used against other blockchains, because each blockchain's structure and architecture is unique. Yes, they have some similarities. it does call into question who's in control of the validators. This has been relatively well known. I feel like that that Binance Smart Chain has been fairly centralized. It's the main reason I haven't invested in it. I like CZ a lot. I really, really do. Actually, I like Binance, and I hesitate to say that about any centralized exchange. I like Binance Coin's tokenomics, really, really good. They were one of the very first tokens to have success with the buyback and burn model and the deflationary methodology there, and that's in my belief why it's risen to be a top 10 cryptocurrency over time. They were one of the very first people to jump on and create a functional EVM compatible layer 1. So I really like what Binance is doing in the space now for this reason of centralization, where it's just been pretty obvious from the beginning where that Binance does have influence and control over the validators. That's why I haven't invested, and I do think it's an issue in the space, but I'm not certain. I don't think that Ethereum has the same issue, and yes, we are seeing a concentration or more centralization in the Ethereum validators recently after the switch to proof of stake. But again, I expect that to shift in the other direction over time, and for Ethereum to become more decentralized over time. It's a tough situation. It's a tough situation too if you're Binance, because you have the power to stop the bleeding. So do you stop the bleeding and try to contain it, or do you try to maintain the integrity of a quote unquote decentralized network? In this case, I don't think it was ever decentralized to begin with, so I don't think it really sacrifices all that much integrity, because everyone knew it was kind of centralized to begin with. So in this case, I do think it makes sense to step in if you have a centralized network and contain the control, to just let it happen. If you were a decentralized network, then it makes more sense. Like if this was Ethereum, then I don't think people should be trying to step in and try to influence validators one way or another. I do think it's fine, however, for validators to work together of their own accord. But obviously it's not a good look if, Vitalik is the one directing them or if the Ethereum, foundation is the one directing everything.
And I think this is going to also, all these bridge hacks is going to pave the way for projects like Cosmos and Polkadot, who are essentially layer zeros that operate everything from one main hub that's secured by, for example, Cosmos, the Atom token secures everything, including the Cosmos hub going to Polkadot or Ethereum or whatever the case may be. So I think that's important.
Yeah, I think a third party, as I mentioned earlier, that could facilitate that. Why not use Cosmos?
Yeah.
Why not remove yourself from the risk?
Rob, do you want to? We had a few super chats and gifted memberships.
Oh yeah, here,
Why don't you go over that?
Here, I'm just gonna give a quick intermission here on the community. Real quick, a few new people in the chat. We get J Soul, Kyle, PHP, Win Dizzle, Rodney, Crypto Pump, Spriggy, Tujas, The Real Guantanamo, Crypto Shinobi, Marvisky, and Purple. And Purple Hayesh.
He has no idea what the hell he's saying.
Anyways,
He's so
I'm terrible
lost in his head right
terrible at pronunciations. Anyways, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. And then we had a couple of super crypto. Billy dropped a $5. We had Broke Yoshi drop some gifted memberships, or
Jimmy and Broke
Yoshi. We got $100 super chat from Jimmy. Man is out here making it rain in the chat. So much love there as well.
What does it say?
It says we want to hear Sin City Crypto is wicked awesome from Lifer and see the dance moves. Opened a damn club. Forced to shake them leaves. Yeah, we did cross over 125. So here, right before we wrap it up, we will open up the club Vegas style.
And everyone just keeps talking about this announcer voice, man. We got to hear it before you leave, all right? You're leaving Vegas tomorrow. Can we get one before the show's over? Lifer?
Last week, I was going over the game, and I saw Larry Bird. He did a double click. I was messing around. He did a double. No, I always make fun, and like Marv Albert. It's a Marv Albert thing, but I say Marv's voice. It's like, hey, Marv, the other day I was looking at the game. I just do all sorts of, I do Marky Wahlberg. Hey, babe, I played a cop. I played a fireman. It doesn't matter, babe. It doesn't matter. I could do anything. I was a sniper in a movie. I'll put out the trash in 2 seconds, babe. It doesn't matter. I can do it. And I do a little Peter Griffin.
Hey, Lois, I think I'll grow a beard. Eh? Chris, go to your room before I put my foot up your ass.
Stop
That's
it.
good. That's good.
Dude, that's money,
Hey,
bro.
everybody, we're going to leave Meg at the gas station. Get in the car real quick. Close the door slowly.
Peter Griffin, you know, I told Lifer this off camera, but my daughter is 4, born and raised in Vegas, and she has this Boston accent. I don't know where the hell she got it from, but anyways.
SCC is wicked awesome. There you go. Yeah, he
We
paid
just
$100
crossed
for
cameras.
that. He wanted it, so we got it.
Thank
Parked the
you-
car in Harvard Yard.
Yeah, thank you guys for all the support, and also a huge thank you with for our guest being here as well. All right, I want to move on. This should be interesting, but Mt. Gox officially releases their guidelines. This is sourced from CryptoSlate. They're going to be enabling an online claim function which will allow registration and repayment method to be chosen for disbursement of funds. Now, these claims have to be filed by January 10th of next year, so in 3 short months. And if you don't do it, you will forfeit your funds. Mt. Gox has urged creditors to validate that their names and addresses are correctly specified. My question, this is not to anyone specific, just talking out loud here. My question is, how many people are either not going to get this information and update their stuff and just fall by the wayside? And how much Bitcoin is going to be just not claimed?
It's interesting how they're trying to do the right thing. And
making people jump through
they're
hoops.
over here like, hey, we're going to give everybody the money back. Finally, it's here. The day has arrived. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, hey, if you don't reply to this email, you're not going to get your money. And is that the right thing to do? I mean, here's the thing. If you have the funds there to distribute, then who's going to keep it? You know what I mean? I feel like it's a bait and switch, man.
But but here's the thing. What if they just start sending money to all the wallet addresses and those wallets are no longer, people don't have seed phrases to them. You know, people don't have access to them.
I don't
That's
know.
a thing
I don't know
too.
what the answer is. I'm not in their position, thank God. It seems like a mess to try to figure out how to divvy that back out.
And I'm gonna-
But shutting the door on people's faces that don't claim it right away in a certain time window ain't the right way to go about it. At least leave that open, and then that way you can, if for some reason you miss this email, you could pull up, 2 years down the road, and then, like, hey, I didn't know that you got, I'm not up to date on crypto Twitter news and all this. I got scarred, burned. I lost my money. I never thought I was going to get it back. I just found out today, 2 years later, that person should get their money back.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and I'm so happy we have Forrest and Crypto Life around today. Is there's about 137 or 141,000 Bitcoin. A lot of people are saying it's going to just dump on the market. It's going to just collapse the price of Bitcoin. Forrest, I'm going to ask you first. Are you afraid that when this gets released, it's going to dump on the market? What do you see happening to the price?
Gotta have some kind of
What are your
right?
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it could shake up the markets a little bit, but you have to remember, I believe the way they're doing it is, let's say at the time of the hack, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's the dollar amount that at the time of the hack, not the Bitcoin amount. So if you were hacked for 100 Bitcoin, and I forget what the dollar amount was at the specific time, that's not 100 Bitcoin times, you're not getting 100 Bitcoin back. You're getting whatever the dollar amount was at the time, which is going to be a much lesser amount. But yeah, 147.
I believe that's correct. Just
yeah. So it's not like I believe the actual number was 740,000 Bitcoin were actually hacked. So if they're reimbursing 147,000, obviously that's potentially going to flood the market. But you also have to take into account, like, if you were buying Bitcoin on Mt. Gox back then, you're probably doing okay right now, even despite the hack. You were probably an early Bitcoin believer, and you probably at least have the base level understanding of market cycle theory. And let's just say you are reimbursed like 10 Bitcoin, right? Are you going to take that 10? Like if anyone here got 10 Bitcoin from this, Mt. Gox hack, how many of us are turning around and just dumping that at $20,000? Or are you going to take that 10 Bitcoin and realize, oh, this could be worth a lot more in the future than it is right now? Maybe you dump a little, maybe you take 10% off the profits, take 10% off the table. You sell 1 Bitcoin out of 10. Maybe you diversify it into some other crypto assets, or, hedge it into some other assets. But I don't know that 100% of that is just going to be dumped. We're talking about like OG Bitcoiners that already probably have rebuilt their stacks up considerably, and at least have some base level understanding of the Bitcoin market cycle. And they're not wanting to dump it. I don't think that the average person that's getting Bitcoin back in this reimbursement is going to have the mindset, I'm just going to dump 100% of it at the bottom of a bear market. Maybe they will, maybe I'm wrong. But I do think there'll probably be some effect. There'll be some volatility, hit the markets a little bit. But I don't think it's going to crash the price of Bitcoin to like $3,000 like people are saying.
I agree. I don't think you waited this long and you're going to sell at literally the worst bear market's lows. Lifer, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm looking at Bro Koshi No Dinero. I love that name. And welcome to the 99, man. But some people aren't as lucky to have a job like me, so they might have to sell. But I'm going off a little what Forrest said is someone that was like willing to throw like a few $100 and Mount Gox was probably someone who had a little extra capital at the time. We don't know, but and you would think that person isn't the person that would have to sell Bitcoin because they don't have a job. So, they were a highly speculative asset back then, and they were probably getting into other things. Who knows? They could be wrecked by now. There's no guarantees. Another thing is I just refuse to listen. I hold strong to back when Grayscale, I've been through this similar thing. Grayscale was unlocking, if anyone remembers, they were going to unlock like 5,000, 6,000 Bitcoins or something crazy. Maybe it was more than that. It was when Bitcoin was coming down here. If you look at the charts, it was right here. And literally, I'd say 70% of the YouTube channels were calling for 10K, 20K Bitcoin. And they were saying, Grayscale is going to unlock. And I laughed every day on my channel and said, show me the charts and I'll show you the news. I pulled a fib and saw a 0.65 retracement here, which was the golden pocket we had wicked into. And then I found bullish divergence on the daily, and I said, I'm long in that. And I called that long, and I went in a little early, 32,400. We would go to 28, but I would ride that 32 all the way up to 69, and I did it live on my channel. And so I don't listen to the news. I don't listen to this nonsense. I laugh whenever I hear it. I think it's a joke. I just don't. The charts have gotten me through. All the other people that listen to the news, I've shredded them. So I stick to this. This is what has gotten me this far. I'm going to keep staying to this. I don't listen to any of that nonsense.
I also will say that tonight we have the CNFT kickoff party. And what a better way to kick off a party than with a Sin City Open the Club party, because we reached new milestones here. So we got all-time high in the chat. And so we like to celebrate the Vegas way. Pop bottles, play music, and see dance moves.
That's not how the song goes.
Dad moves.
Pop models.
Yeah, pop bottles. Something.
Or pop bottles.
Rocco. Open the club. Yeah. Hey, boy, we're back.
Let's see it. I got my biggest haters in here. Kenny G wants to see my dad move.
I got rip my shirt off. That's what he did. That's what he just ripped it off. Like unbuttoned.
Yeah. We growing, baby. We growing.
What is it with this studio and people wanting to take their shirts off, man?
Actually, it's impossible to take your shirt off. The AC's just pumping on me. I'm freezing. I wish I had my coat on. I need a North Face in here.
We had Crypto Keeper and Mind Your Biz in here, and they both took their shirts off during the stream, and I'm like, what the hell is this? We are in Sin City.
You know, it's the Senate. You're sedentary. Like, if I could get up and
people
start swinging around.
They're like, hey, we're in Vegas, man. They just roll up in here with those big plastic tubes of frozen margarita.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, bro, this ain't a strip, man. It's a professional studio here. What are you doing?
All right. To end the show,
can we ask Forrest what that beautiful artwork is? I love it.
You know what? We never asked that.
Wave action there.
So.
Did you paint that for us?
I said, what you got back there?
I did not paint that. No, moved into this new place, and I'm not a DIY person, right? I'm just not. I've got to stain my deck this weekend. I'm dreading it, right? I got quoted $600, and I'm the kind of person that's like, I'm not going to pay you $600 to stain my deck. I can knock it out on a weekend, no problem. I moved into this new place, needed something in the background. Went down to TJ Maxx, grabbed the painting out of the aisle that looked pretty decent.
So that's so that's not a Picasso?
Mm-hmm. I like you, man. I respect you. I like that.
$60 TJ Maxx.
TJ Maxx is the spot.
Hey, who cares, right?
Love TJ Maxx.
I'm going to
TJ Maxx.
To end the show. I'm gonna give our guests kind of the floor. We'll start with Forrest. Oh, there you go. Is that a Rolex?
That's not a Rolex, but that is a wall clock, an Oris wall clock. That That's worth more than the painting for sure, but not
Yeah.
worth that much.
Forrest, can you maybe tell the people what they can expect when they come to your channel and where they can follow you? The link to your YouTube is in the description of this video, but anything else you kind of want to leave the viewers with?
Yeah, so the Cryptostackers YouTube channel has been all about crypto for obviously since its inception. I focus lately primarily on trade setups. This is a trader's market right now. It's very choppy. The way you make money when the market's just ranging like this is you trade. Now, longer term investing is fine. I like the longer term invest, but if you're investing in this market, your money's been pretty stagnant as we've moved sideways. So I've been focusing heavily on trading and trading education and information flow, finding the opportunities in a market. So I've got a Discord group. It's very, very inexpensive. It's $9 a month. If you can't afford it, cancel your Netflix subscription. And the whole point of this Discord group is information flow, right? It's just we track smart money on Nansen, we track smart money Twitter profiles, we track multiple indicators, we just have alerts going off, and the whole idea here is to basically get as much information and as high quality information as possible and distill it down into one place between the Discord and on my YouTube channel so that you can make better decisions. I'm a very big fan of, you have your information flow, you have the framework for deciphering that information, and that ultimately equates to the decisions that you make. So there's only two variables you can really change if you want to change your results, and that is your information flow and your framework for actually, deciphering that information or interpreting that information. So those are the two things that we focus on at Cryptostackers. The YouTube channel being more about building that proper framework, and the Discord being more about having that really, really solid information flow.
Amazing. Guys, go support Forrest. Check out his YouTube channel. And then Lifer, I want to ask you the same thing. We're sad to see you go. So today's going to be, tonight's going to be essentially your last night. I know you have some stuff and you're flying out tomorrow. Do you mind doing the same thing? Maybe talking about your channel, what people can expect when they go, and anything else that you want to kind of share with the people watching?
Yeah, I just, my channel is kind of, it's almost like a reality channel of my life and how I've progressed to where I am. The thing about me is I've live streamed every day for 600 and some odd days. Wherever I go, I put so much pressure not to miss my day. And I want to go 1,000. Yesterday, I technically didn't miss, right? I was on.
You were on.
So we got broken up, and I'm on this I don't know. I'm on this every time I keep adding, it keeps growing. I ended up here. How in God's name? But it happens. I just keep rocking, and to me, it's I want to inspire people that you can change your life. I was depressed. I like to talk about the times where I didn't feel that good, where I was going up and down. And I also have a Discord. My Discord is $99 a month. It's expensive. I search the market for 15 hours to 10 hours a day. I find one of the most setups. Today we hit XRP for gains. You can see it. I got Quant setting up right now. I hit Ergo for gains last night.
Was that a free trade? Is that a free trade?
Yeah, it's free right there.
Okay.
You look at that. That stops below. Quant likes to follow XRP. I'll teach you about blockchain. I'll teach you about decentralization. I have an entire group of people in there, 800 traders looking all around the world. I also have a learning library where you can post your charts. This is a place where you can start charting for the first time in your life. You've never done a chart before. You don't know a damn anything. You can post your first chart. No one will make fun of you.
Can you help me out?
No one will say anything. This is where you begin. This is where you begin. People come in here and it's insane. I have a testimonial area. If you can go into my free section where I give you free guides. You can see the gains that we've been making in the past month, whatever's been going on. And then the testimonials are they're just amazing. If you sit here and scan some of them, they make me cry. So people have said they change your life. And also I talk about mentality a lot because when I was depressed, I learned a lot of this stuff, but you can't make great trades when you don't believe in yourself, when you don't feel good, when you don't think great things are going to happen. So I teach working out helps you get out of depression, using lemon water, staying hydrated. I even do my workout some mornings for people in the trading group. It's an all lifestyle trading group, life coach, mentorship feeling where you're around someone that's doing what they want to do with their life every single day. You see it, you know it. I come to my live stream. I don't take days off. It seems intense, I know, but it's the passion. I don't stop, and I want to take as many people out of the parasitic banking system as I can. That's my goal. That's my dream. Honestly, I used to watch Forrest on YouTube before I was on. I used to see him with Token Metrics. So like, you know, I never, you know, like one day I'd be with an analyst like him, and I've always respected you, Forrest. Like, really, it's a big deal for me to share the stream with you today. Like, I want to be humble about it, and it's like a milestone. So every day I feel like I hit a milestone, something cool happens, and I'm just so blessed to be in the studio today. You guys are awesome. Like,
hey, man.
It's been a dream. This whole trip has been a dream. So thank you. Follow me at all the socials, The Real Crypto Lifer on Instagram, at Crypto Lifer 33 on Twitter. Crypto Lifer here. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Facebook. I'm everywhere.
And then we also did a video yesterday. If you want to get a little bit more behind the scenes, no charts included, just one-on-one. We did a video yesterday, which is on our channel. We also got Discord too, so go check out our Discord. Ours is free. So no reason.
We're not at that level yet. We're not at that level to charge.
There's no reason you
yet.
should be on our Discord. Okay, so go check that out. It's community driven, run by Marky Mark. So
in all seriousness, these two gentlemen here, Forrest and Lifer, they've dedicated all their time to trading, technical analysis, and studying the markets. You'd be doing yourself a disservice if you're not following them. At least follow them and hear what they have to say. By the way, that's my sign of ending the show. Friends, family, friends of family, and family of friends. We thank you guys so much for ending your week with us here at Sin City Crypto. Huge shout out to our two guests again. Go support, subscribe to our channel, subscribe to Crypto Lifer and Cryptostackers Pro. Have a great weekend. We love you guys. We'll see you Monday, 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until then, peace.
Golden Bulls. Golden Bulls.
good show, man.
Crypto is life.